What's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs on the way.
Yes.
And we've got a very, very special episode today. I'm with Michael again. Michael, what are you saying?
Talk to me, people. What's going on? Happy to be here again, obviously. Finally having some sort of regularity with this thing.
Yeah, consistency, man.
Consistency.
Two episodes.
Hey, that's all it takes.
But yeah, we'll get cracking. A big weekend of Premier League football, and I know I said last week that we were going to do this in chronological order, but it's good to be able to adapt.
Sure.
If the centre back fizzes a pass into you, and you have a bad touch, you can't blame the centre back. So we're going to be flexible, and given that there was a huge fixture this weekend, drama everywhere, a classic one. We have got Arsenal, Man United. Arsenal winning 3-1, 2 late goals. And I think one man that we have to start with, because we spoke about him a fair bit last week, Gabriel.
Yeah, big.
Saw him in the starting lineup. What were your thoughts?
Just like a lot of relief in the sense that, all right, he's not leaving, he's staying. Maybe there was a bit of tactical thought provocation behind his absence in the team sheets, and then
He looked like he was loving it.
Yeah, and I was like,
didn't look like a guy who wanted to leave.
He never looked like at the Crystal Palace game.
He
never looked like a guy who wanted to leave. I didn't really believe the rumors too much that he wanted to leave, but I'm happy the uncertainty is over.
Yeah,
and there's no anything looming over us. But what I will say about Gabriel as an overarching point is, well, maybe not an overarching point, but like a tidbit that I love is like we've spoken about Gabriel a lot. His bozo gene, his this, his that, his like small things he can improve upon. But like I love it when his shithousery goes our way.
Yeah.
Like he's worth a start every week just for the one or two shithousery decisions that he has that go our way. Like obviously we're gonna go through the whole match and everything, but the stuff with Johnny Evans on the final goal.
Yeah, that's so a lot of people didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
but
I love
like he actually blocks Johnny Evans from getting out to Declan Rice and then takes his arms off him at the right time because they checked it for a foul.
Yeah.
And if anything, Mike Dean said today it could have been a foul on Gabriel.
The Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, I love that one.
Quote unquote penalty shout.
I was an idiot for that.
You know,
it's never, ever.
And never
that's
a
just
penalty.
Gabriel, just big, strong, armor cross.
Machine for machine.
Bang. Yeah, take it.
Dog for dog. And then obviously the small, not the small stuff, the offside trap. Just like those decisions or stuff that Gabriel does that is super beneficial, but could also have cost us the game.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So I love it.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's rare that he like, especially recently, last season in particular, it's rare that he does that stuff and it costs us a game.
Yeah.
Like his bozo gene has
decreased.
Yeah,
massively.
quite a lot.
But that, to be fair, I remember Arsene Wenger saying like, when a guy's like 19, 20, just play him for 38 games
because he'll learn from the mistakes.
He's gonna make mistakes. By the time he's 24, you have a player there. I think that was like his direct quote is, "You have a player."
I remember him saying that.
So I think that was Gabriel. Obviously, he's been here. This is like his third year, maybe his fourth year. So he's been here for 2 years. The first season, Gabriel, good player and everything, but those mistakes were costly. Second season, Gabriel, same thing. And now it's like instead of getting a mistake every 3 games, we get a mistake every like 8 games.
Yeah. For sure.
9 games. And he's just like a 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Warrior, headers in both boxes.
Yesterday, I don't remember him really putting a foot wrong at all.
He's cold. Even like...
Because Saliba made a mistake for the Garnacho thing, innit?
Yeah, he did.
Tried to dribble past it, and then he goes
did.
through. But even on our first goal, the ball into Martinelli when he lays it off to Zinchenko comes from Gabriel. It's a great
punched,
just pass into him
straight through,
straight back, straight after Man United score, bang.
I think, man, and obviously we'll get into this, but I think there is a lot to say about the just connections and player developments of guys that have been playing with each other for 2-3 years now, and how like I never know how much you can read into football with these kind of things, but it's like, because the pass comes from Gabriel Magalhaes, and Martinelli, because I'm like, does it because it comes from Gabriel Magalhaes, does Martinelli decide to do the first time flick?
Yeah,
And it's like, I know this is going to be a good ball.
Yeah,
I've played with Gabriel for,
yeah,
100 games
and
now, 80 games now.
He knows Zinchenko is going to be there on the overlap. It's the same left hand side we had most of last year.
Yeah.
Gabriel, Zinchenko, Martinelli, linking up.
And I'm happy you've come onto Zinchenko because I thought as well his presence in the starting lineup is like
it's just calming.
It's like honestly, it's like night and day in terms of just the fluidity he brings to our attack, what he mentality wise brings as well in some of those high pressure moments.
The amount of times he like wrapped a pass into Odegaard
first time,
and just quicken up the tempo.
Yeah. He doesn't think twice about certain things that other players will take a touch before they do. And which is like, I think that is sort of some of the stuff that held KT back in the position is you was never a bad player or never a bad defender, but there's some stuff that Zinchenko just does first time without thinking, and it's the perfect ball to Odegaard.
As a left back, and I think we've said this before, Kieran Tierney's a better left back than Zinchenko. But when you want the left back to do what Arteta wants him to do, there's not really a competition.
And even on that, do you remember last week? I think we were talking about the formations and the positions and like where players are playing. Should Thomas invert, not invert? It's kind of ridiculous how at peace we feel with what Zinchenko does on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because he, like, obviously, I say obviously.
Gary Neville was freaking out on commentary.
Yeah, I think he's the best inverted fullback in the Premier League, if not the game. And, like, he's on the right channel sometimes. He's, he's high up the pitch sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Did you see they brought up his touch map after 20-25 minutes?
Crazy. It's honestly crazy to see what he can do in this position and the confidence in which he does it in, and then for the rest of us fans to be like, I need that back. I need that. I think a lot of other teams, if you're seeing your centre back who's Gabriel on one-on-ones with Anthony or whoever, you're like, where is the left back? What is he doing? Why is he out of position? But there is just a level of trust that we have with Zinchenko. But what I will say
and Gabriel,
because
Zinchenko goes in there, we get caught out. Gabriel's left one-on-one, and I'm like, honestly, I was so relaxed.
Yeah. But what I will say about Zinchenko is I do worry that he might never be a 90-minute man for us, and that almost no matter the scoreline, even if we're 4-1 up, 5-0 up, we should probably take him off after 75 minutes.
I agree. I think you only keep him on. Like in last year's game against Man United, right at the end, he puts the ball in, then Eddie scores.
Yeah.
I think you only keep him on when we need a goal.
Yeah.
If we're winning, the Tomiyasu substitution, I know Arteta did that when we were drawing. And we'll get onto Arteta substitutions because I want to talk about them. But final words on Gabriel?
Final words on Gabriel is he really is just a monster for us. He is a bit of Mr. Consistent. Like he's kind of always going to give us a 7 out of 10 minimum and go from there. Who do we have next? We have Everton at home. Everton away. Yeah, so Everton away is another game where you think he should start. What was your perspective on how we played and how United played? Because I'm hearing so many differing opinions.
Yeah.
And obviously this is football. Everybody has an opinion. But I'm hearing so many differing opinions. Like some people say we played poorly. And United played well. Some people say United played well. We played poor. Vice versa. We played well. United played poorly. Just what did you think on the performance?
I think in general in the game there was a lack of quality. And people said that about our Community Shield game against Man City. But I think that was more just a very tactical game. Whereas this one was more... I think it was just both teams kind of not wanting to lose the game. Yeah. So therefore not like...
going all out.
Yeah. And Onana impressed me yesterday. Like that guy is so calm.
On the ball.
He's so composed. Like... Yeah. To be... And the atmosphere was... I think Gary Neville even spoke about it on commentary. The atmosphere was hot yesterday. But Onana was still just like... It really didn't phase him at all.
Is it?
And like you would have seen on TV, even when Arsenal go to try and press, like
there's some nervy moments. I thought Eddie, it's right there. It's right there.
And I think because of that, like especially before the Man United goal, they had a lot of possession in their own half.
Yeah,
with and weren't really doing anything. Arsenal looked more threatening. But then the quality came in moments like that Rashford goal. Cuts in, so I don't know how he's been allowed to cut inside. I think Saliba's overcovered.
Yeah, Ben White should.
But it's a good finish.
It's a great finish.
Yeah, quality from Rashford, quality from Odegaard, and then other than that, I think there was lacking a bit of quality in the game.
So I agree with you. I think the game was lacking a little bit of quality. Like the quality came in like such short bursts.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, there it is, and then it will be gone for such a long time. And I think I agree with you in terms. I think it was a lot of it was both teams didn't want to lose the game, so it sort of played within themselves. But I think we were the better team in the first half for sure, most dominant. And then I actually kind of think United had a better second half than us up until extra time.
Yeah,
like added on time. I
thought they had some chances.
I thought they were more likely to score. I actually sometimes thought that we didn't really have a plan on how we were gonna score. And I thought that Thomas Partey was a huge miss in those moments, because there were certain times when Declan Rice would have the ball or Saliba would have the ball at the back. We was in United's half, but like at the back of the field. And I think it was just everybody was looking for an incisive pass. And I think Thomas does that, kind of like Zinchenko. Like Thomas takes the ball, one touch, gets it out his feet, spreads it to Saka. You know, the movement, Saka has a one-on-one. I just think that we was moving the ball a little bit too slowly, in particular in the second half. And I think Thomas doesn't do that. Like Thomas is a give and go guy.
Yeah, for sure. I think also, obviously, Declan Rice is new to the team. He's still learning the role, learning what Arteta wants. But I think there were times yesterday, and again, Declan Rice had a great performance yesterday. So this isn't a slight on him, but there were times yesterday where Saliba, Gabriel, or Ben White would have the ball, and Declan Rice wasn't kind of making the angle that I know Thomas Partey would make to then get the ball and then play.
Do you think there's also a little bit of kind of like my point in the first half? We had Zinchenko, we had Gabriel, we had Martinelli. It was like first touch football for the first goal. There's trust with Thomas Partey.
For sure.
The players, I don't know if you saw the Zinchenko interview on the Rio thing, when he's talking about is he the best
better than Rodri.
Yeah, I think
it's mad to hear someone say that.
I think in training, and I said, anyway, we'll come to another point I mentioned. I think in training, Thomas obviously must kill it. But we see it in the game as well. There's certain situations where it's like, I can't believe they've trusted Thomas with the ball there. Like he literally has a guy on his back, two other people closing him down from the side, and Thomas keeps it simple, small turn, like Jinky. And we're away. Do you think they don't quite have that or they're not quite sure with Rice, so they don't want to put the pressure on him to make the mistake? And then it's like the media.
I think I don't think that they kind of feel that, because I think they all kind of look at Declan Rice and like, we can give you the ball almost anywhere, and just his physical stature is so hard to take it off him. So I don't think it's necessarily a matter of they don't trust him. I think it's more so a matter of Declan Rice not making those angles. And again, I think that will just come with time, because it's not like Declan Rice is shy on the ball or he's hiding. Like, he'll come and get the ball, but I think he just needs to learn more about when, because there were definitely times when Man United would try and press, Martial might come to Saliba, and then there's an angle to move left or right and get the ball. That I've seen Thomas Partey make that slight turn, and then we're off.
I can hear that. And I mean, Declan Rice does have a lot to learn. I mean, it's only been 4 games. Obviously, he's been brilliant.
And I think he played very well yesterday.
Yeah, he played very well yesterday, especially the first half. I was so impressed with him in the first half.
Because we obviously making the comparison between him and Partey. There were a couple of times where he goes in and makes that sliding tackle.
There was one challenge. There was one challenge in the foot. Is it on Bruno?
I think it's on Bruno. Yeah, he makes 2, but I think one. Yeah, one.
There was one. It was like halfway through the first half, and like Declan Rice just flies in there.
Yeah. I think United kept the ball for a bit.
And then ball, and he comes away with it, and then we're just away, and I'm just like
that kind of thing. Partey doesn't do.
Yeah. He doesn't do it that way as well. Like,
Rice, he can break up the play, win the ball back, but he won't go in and
He'll only go in to like add a little bit of pressure, and stick a foot out, see what can,
But to go sliding in, come out with the ball, and then we're off.
And still, there was another point I was going to mention. I actually think, controversially so, that maybe not controversially so, but I just thinking about the game, watching the game, I just think that Odegaard's goal is the best goal of the game and the most important moments in the match. Even after all things,
I don't think it's the best goal of the game.
I think it's the best goal of the game.
It's a great move.
Like Jesus' goal is cold.
Bro, the Jesus.
We'll get to Jesus' goal separately.
We'll come to that.
I just think that Odegaard's goal is so.
It's important. It's more important for sure.
For me, it's the most important goal for the simple fact that we were the better team in the first half. We shouldn't have gone 1-0 behind, and I think that if we had let that play on our minds, I can't believe we're here in this situation again, behind the home and needing to produce a miracle to come away with 3 points. If that weighs on our mind, if we go in 1-0 down at halftime, and guys, who knows what Arteta does? Maybe he brings Jesus on, 45 minutes, all this kind of stuff. It's like we start throwing the kitchen sink at it, and United feel as if, man, there's a result here. Casemiro starts sliding around. Like Maguire comes on and looks good.
They feel like they got something to hold on to.
Exactly. Maguire comes on, looks good defending the 6-yard box because it's just crosses in the box. And
it's a game where we have to now break them down.
I would have hated to have watched that game at
United
home.
Play on the counter, exactly what they want.
I would have hated to just watch United even settle into the match and feel like, oh, these guys aren't as good, or maybe we're better than we thought we were. I just think that they celebrated, they were up, they had a great moment, and before they could even really enjoy it or understand what was going on, we were already won. It was already 1-1.
Yeah.
Like, I barely had time to look at my phone, say anything to anybody in the chat, and Odegaard was already wheeling away in the corner.
Yeah.
And yes, it was a quality goal. Zinchenko and Nketiah, Martinelli, like those are all like from the Gabriel pass, it's just like one touch stuff.
Martinelli flip.
Yeah. It's a brilliant goal. The finish from Odegaard. I know it's like he should finish. He has to finish it type of stuff.
Buried. Like a rocket off his foot.
He makes like he doesn't give the keeper a chance to get there.
But obviously we've spoken a lot on certain players here,
but we haven't touched on two.
I think Declan Rice. We need to talk about Declan Rice. Comes to Arsenal for a big prize, and let's not forget that Declan Rice could have had his pick of any Premier League team.
Yeah,
right. We know Man City came in for him. Man United could have had him, but he wanted to play for Arsenal.
Yeah, but I at the same time, as that is the truth, I think he has been justified in his choice.
100%.
It's been a month in the club. He's won a trophy at Wembley, beating Man City in a final. 3 wins, 1 draw in the league, and now he's got a winner.
Against Man United.
Against Man United at the Emirates in front of the home fans. Yeah. He finally knows what that feels like to be in a big game, to have everybody watching.
You can see for the passion in that.
I was actually just saying, I was rewatching. Obviously, I've watched it like bare times, the goal and the celebrations and stuff afterwards, and I was just thinking, like, I would hate this Arsenal team if I wasn't an Arsenal fan. Declan Rice giving it the big one at the end. Just
the way Gabriel jumps on his back and then they go. You can
literally see Declan Rice just like soaking it all in. Rising in stature, feeling like he's the man, feeling like he made the right decision, feeling like
Do you see that bit after the game when the whole stadium singing his name?
Yeah, like he feels, you can tell he feels as if he's reached or reaching that sort of superstar status type of thing. And if I you know my agenda with Declan Rice previously. If I wasn't a Declan Rice, if I wasn't an Arsenal fan, I would hate to see, because I know there's a lot of fans who think Declan Rice is just putting meaty performances. And he's just kind of been like, that sideways backwards passer and da. But I love it all. I love it all. I love the fact that other fans are gonna hate us. I love the fact that Declan Rice is come in with the right mentality, and I think more so his character is almost as good as his footballing attributes. Just because he's a leader. He's a leader. He's one of those go to the very end type people. He's one of those, like, if you don't win today, it kills him.
100%.
He is a media darling, which we've never had in a while. And like,
because it's funny, right? Like, so Gary Neville commentary when Arsenal scored late goals was actually quite good, to be fair to him, right? When Declan Rice scores, he goes, "Oh, he came here to be the difference maker," and he's just won the game for Arsenal against Man United, just connected. So, but it's funny, right? Because Gary Neville goes, I was critical of Arsenal last year for being too emotional. Like the Reece Nelson moment and all of that.
Yeah.
But because Declan Rice has scored this goal,
and
we've got a similar sort of celebration.
You can't say that.
He's gone literally on commentary. I know I was critical of them last year, but I think they can have this one. Well, just because Declan Rice scored,
last year,
now it's okay to be emotional.
Last year, Gary Neville was saying, like, you know, it was Aston Villa. It was like, oh, Arsenal celebrated too soon. They celebrate like they've won the title. This is match week 4.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's way earlier in the season. You know, there's way less on the line. And look, man, we're becoming an untouchable team media wise. Which
Saka,
we've used to be a team to batter easily.
Yeah, because we never used to have any English players.
Yeah, it was the Ozil Kolasinac Mustafi thing,
even from way back in the day.
Granit Xhaka thing,
Vieira, Petit.
Yeah. It's not been us.
Yeah,
it's not been us.
Yeah.
We've been easy to sort of hate and throw some shit at, and I just love it for Declan Rice. I think, man, I still don't even think, honestly, I think he's been great, but I don't even think he's scratched the surface.
No.
Like, I don't think he's like
because when we say, and we should also probably mention this, when we say the Declan Rice hasn't learned everything in that 6 role, we think he's capable of that.
Yeah,
like he can be
100%.
a top level number 6. Or even a number 8, probably. He's got the facilities to play both. So we think he can get there. It's obviously just going to take a bit of time.
Yeah. You know, as it should. I just think come December, January, February, I would really be afraid of Declan Rice.
Yeah.
You know, I really, really, really. I also still think that
once he starts picking it up and driving forward,
exactly. I think that he's still being cautious in the system. I think that he doesn't want to let Arteta down. He doesn't want to let the team down, the fans down, all this kind of stuff. And that once he gets a little bit of leeway and he starts to take risks. Even the balls that he plays quite safe passes, which you're meant to as a 6.
Yeah.
But we've seen
they're still progressive.
We've seen him ping it.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting for the diags to Saka over the top rather than to Saka on the touchline so he can take a touch.
The Rodri Tamares. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the switch to Martinelli. But it's not a switch as in to keep the possession. It's a switch to put him through on goal. Where it's a one touch finish type of thing, almost a Pirlo-esque from deep.
Yeah,
and I think he has all of that in his locker. He has all of that in his locker. I just think there is time to come. And are we gonna do any Havertz talk? I feel like there's so much.
I think just quickly before we finish on Declan Rice, I think what a moment for him. To score the winner against Man United at the Emirates in front of the home fans. Like, you could see him afterwards. Like,
awesome.
Big moment for him. And we all loved it. I think the Havertz thing doesn't need too much on it.
I just think he needs time.
Coming away from the game yesterday from the stadium, I thought he didn't have a good game.
Yeah.
But then when I watched it back,
I thought it was a 6.
Again, he's missed a sitter.
Yeah.
He has to score that.
Yeah.
Like, and there's gonna come. I know people are probably thinking every week we say Havertz has to score that.
Yeah.
But there's gonna come a point where it's gonna be like, okay, patience has run out now. But that's not happening yet.
Yeah. I honestly don't think that happens for another couple weeks.
No. Yeah. It's not. To be fair, even like November, December.
Yeah.
Like, but he should score there. The penalty, I don't know how that's been overturned.
I don't know how that's been overturned.
And in that sense, it's like Havertz just can't get any luck.
I mean, me and Nick were saying it in the chat. It's just like you never see those overturned. Never. The ref's on-field decision sticks in that moment. For them to highly scrutinize, and they'll never highly scrutinize another penalty like that again. No. The season will go on. The ref will blow the whistle. They'll say, VAR's not here to re-referee the game. All this kind of stuff. My only thing on Havertz is you just need to show a little bit of personality now. Obviously, I don't even know if it's the fans that are on your back, but the media or other opponents' fans or whatever are kind of on your back. And you could cower and do the woe is me thing.
Yeah.
Or you could actually.
I don't think he's that guy though.
I think, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he is that guy, but I think he needs a little bit, because Declan Rice has a little bit of that in him.
Yeah.
To be that guy of like, you know, I know everybody has doubts. I know everybody has this. I know everybody has that. But I am still an elite footballer, and I can do things that none of you guys can do. And just to show us a little bit of something. I think it's going to take time. I also think that, man, I don't like, his moments were really bad yesterday, but I don't think he had a bad game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I also think there's so much.
He gave away a poor pass for the goal as well.
Yeah,
but his reaction,
he
obviously you can make a mistake, but then he's gone full speed, full sprint to try and get it back, and then obviously it's a good goal from Rashford. There's other errors after that, but I think
even Declan Rice is a little bit at fault, because he's gone too high up the pitch in that left eight channel. And obviously, yes, Havertz has lost it. That's poor from Havertz, but there is nobody in that. There's nobody in that midfield space. Eriksen, of all people, he's not quick.
He plays a great pass.
He's not quick, but Eriksen sort of carries the ball for 30 yards. Untouched.
And if there's one thing Eriksen can do, he can play that pass.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way Arteta's come out and backed him, like even asked the fans to kind of get off his back. And then they asked him about it in the interview yesterday, and he said, "Yeah, I think the fans were good with him today." And I noticed the difference. The fans weren't as onto him as they were in the Fulham game.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. Like, you need to just support your players,
for sure,
especially this early on. But like on you say, with you saying the Havertz, like keeping his place in the team and not bury him and stuff. I wanted to talk about
Vieira.
As a whole, Arteta's substitutions in the game. Because I was sat there, and I thought at 70, I looked up at the clock and it was like 70 minutes in, and we hadn't made a change.
Yeah, I think he did,
which is fairly rare for Arteta.
I think he didn't make a change till like the 74th, 5th.
Yeah.
But
so
I understand it.
Yeah. But then when he brings on, I think he made 3 at that point. He brought on Tomiyasu, Vieira, and Jesus, and I think all of them. We'll talk on Tomiyasu very quickly. That like he was so composed when he came on, was inverting into midfield, keeping the ball. It's his tackle that then leads to Odegaard's shot when Man United could break on a 4v2.
Also, or just on Tomiyasu, I think there was a lot of joy Man United were getting down our left side.
Yeah, because they brought Højlund on.
Yeah, who was stuck on Gabriel.
Become more of a physical presence, and it was good for Arteta.
And Zinchenko was inverting. But
I bring Tomiyasu.
I just think that as soon as Tomiyasu came on, it was almost like that stopped.
Yeah,
like it wasn't as potent a channel. So Tomiyasu's done his job there.
Yeah.
Vieira, we spoke about Vieira. He's a GA man.
Yeah,
like he is,
and it's a great pass.
I was hearing
he could so easily mess that pass.
Yeah, I was hearing something today that I think since he's come into the club, I think it's like only Odegaard and Saka.
Yeah,
that have created more assists or something like that.
It's a Saka and Trossard.
It's a Saka and Trossard.
Yeah.
Which we said this last season about Vieira. Even when guys are on his back, it's like when he comes on, he's our Bruno. He can drop a stinker and come out with a goal or an assist. And I will just say this on Vieira though, because I know there's a lot of Vieira should start. I don't think Vieira should start.
He's pushing to start.
But for how bad Havertz is, and this is why football fans and football is a bit weird. Like, there is 2 sides to the game of football.
Yeah.
And playing 2 number 10s.
Yeah. Well, our next game is at Goodison. Yeah. There's absolutely no way Vieira should start.
I just think that Vieira is, right now, looks like a better attacking player than Havertz, and that's why he gets.
Yeah, he's definitely bringing. But when we go to Goodison Park after the international break, I'd much rather have Havertz in the team.
Even I agree with you, and
but I think Vieira is going to get a start. At some point,
is going to get a start at some point. Yeah,
but we'll.
I think there's one other sub we have to talk about.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, actually 2. Before we talk about Jesus, because there'll be more to talk about. Reece Nelson came on.
Yeah.
Played well again. I'm
surprised he came on instead of Trossard, but I also understand it. Maybe Arteta was just thinking legs and like.
Reece Nelson does this thing, right, where when he comes on, I don't know what it is, but there's just an intensity that's just injected into the game, into the crowd, into the atmosphere. That like there's almost an expectation, obviously not to the same level as Saka, but when Reece gets the ball, it's like okay, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's
Like,
because we know he's
gonna
good
do
one-on-one.
something, right? He's gonna go to the byline, cut it back, come inside, and for the Jesus' goal, he
He's
wins
there.
the 50-50 with Rashford,
Yeah.
plays it out to
Yeah.
Vieira.
He's there
goes
for the
from
tap.
that.
He's there for the square as well.
But obviously, he didn't play that long.
Yeah,
so
he didn't
we
play
won't
that
talk
long.
about him
I
for
think
that
just
long.
quickly on Reece, I think Arteta will choose him for the home games. I don't think he comes on if that's an away game. You know, I think he brings on Trossard. But with the crowd, with everything that you've just mentioned, I think Reece, knowing the club, coming through the academy, he has a little additional something that he brings. And then coming on to the Jesus cameo, man.
Yeah.
Like, we've been impressed with Eddie. We were just picking him up.
Yeah.
We were just saying how he deserves his chance.
I think that was Jesus kind of saying, like, yo,
don't forget,
I'm a different level.
Don't. There was one. Yes, there was one. Like, obviously, we'll come onto the goal, but there was one. Like, I think it was his first touch. Was it Lindelof? Somebody in that left or right?
Johnny Evans.
Is it Johnny Evans?
When he just spins him.
Jesus just takes it on his chest.
Yeah,
he has the defender on his back. Jesus just takes it on his chest, turns to face up the defender. And I was just like, oh, you're in trouble, man.
And he's just running that. Like, it was just, like you say, it was a don't forget. Like,
just don't forget.
I am who I am. I'm here kind of performance.
And this comes onto my point about training and about last week. Do you remember what I said last week? I think Jesus is a dog when it comes to finishing. I think in the pitch he's less clinical, but I think in training he eats everything up. Everything goes in.
I reckon he trains so well as well.
I think everything goes in. And I was also a bit surprised. Like, I don't know about you, but when he went through, I just knew he was gonna cut back. I'm so shocked Dalot went all the way in because I just knew Jesus was gonna cut back.
So obviously you said Odegaard's goal was the best goal, and I said we'll talk about this in a bit. But bro, honestly, I've watched that goal 30 plus times. Like, the way he sends Dalot back to Manchester.
Yeah, I can't believe
how can you still be sliding after the ball's hit the back of the net? Like, honestly, when he cuts back. And then you hear the whole stadium like get up again, and then he buries it, and then he just goes off and just does that. It's so cold.
It's so cold.
It's one of my favorite Aston goals for a while.
I agree. It's so cold, also because
and then it's just buried. Game over. It's done.
It's not even that the game's done. It's like it looks like we've thumped you.
Yeah. Another 3 conceded away from home for Eric Ten Hag and Man United.
We need to come on to Man United and everything.
We will talk about Man United
and everything
as well.
to do Man United.
But yeah, this goal I think needs a bit more time.
Just lastly on Jesus, I was also thinking when he went through, I was like, oh, is that touch the right touch? Is it got away from him? But I was still so shocked that Dalot didn't think he was gonna cut back. I didn't think so. I was like, oh, the Jesus Cruyff turn feint. It's so nailed on. But I just think overall his 15-minute cameo is something to behold, and also shows. And we were talking about this just pre recording. Just like we've only seen Jesus in cameo minutes, and we're 4 weeks in the first international break. I don't care how it happens or what happens, but as long as by March, February, everybody's fully fit and ready to start. Not to say that I don't want to see Jesus again until March or February, but I was just like, it just lets me know I want to see Partey, Rice, Odegaard with Jesus, Martinelli, Saka. And I want.
And Eddie played well as well. Like,
he did.
Obviously, we're talking how well Jesus has done for those like 80 minutes, whatever that Eddie was on.
Well.
Play the ball he plays through to Havertz to win the pen.
The ball. I think the ball to Martinelli in the first goal.
Yeah,
just the first
great
time.
Pass.
Simple.
But yeah, I think the Jesus. Honestly, that goal, man. Someone made it into a GIF, and I've just been sending it everywhere. Because watching Man United fans and some of their content on YouTube yesterday. When Declan Rice scores, you can see obviously the life just sucked out of them. Yeah. But when Jesus goes through and scores again, now the score's 3-1.
It's anger.
It's like if you haven't watched the game, you see the result. We pumped you.
You know what I love about the goal so much is it turns the it's been a bad day at the office to meltdown.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
To Sancho statements.
Yeah. That's the difference. It's turned. Oh, this is a bad day at the office. We've been robbed.
Yeah.
To where the owners. Where are we going as a club? What direction are we in? You know.
There was shades of
Aston Villa
of a great Arsenal striker.
Is it?
In that goal. But,
I was getting big shades of Aston Villa in the match where it was like a closely fought game. The ball squirms in to put us ahead, and then we kill it.
And
it comes from Vieira again as well.
And, but yeah, obviously we've spoken about Arsenal for a while there. But we will move on to Man United. And I think I've got here. What does this result mean for Man United in your opinion?
Everything and nothing. It's just funny to see what good teams get away with poor performances. Yeah. I mean, United have been performing poorly, and now are not getting the results off the back of it, and it will show you the level they're at as a team. As I said, I actually thought they played well in the second half, better than us. I thought they deserved to edge it in the second half. Hence why I thought 1-1 was going to be a fair scoreline. But what does the loss mean for them now?
But having said that, I think obviously they had the Martial chance and the Rashford thing gets blocked, but Saka has to score. Like we've had a lot of good chances. I think.
I just think that we were so subpar, and I've pushed our standard up.
Yeah.
We were so subpar that they could have told themselves or convinced themselves that
it's such fine margins.
Yeah, that they were due to come away with something. But what the loss means for United, I think it just means that like nothing, because they have so many players to come in and so many players
obviously have a lot of injuries.
But I think it just means more pressure for Ten Hag, more question marks around Ten Hag. I've got serious question marks around Ten Hag.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing. I know he's going to be.
They've come to North London twice and lost twice.
I know he's going to be a bit of a media darling because he has the United job and he has this like a calm persona and everything like that. But I genuinely don't see what he wants to do at United.
Yeah,
and that they've pushed on to be a better team than last year. And I just generally think that I know he's a good manager. I know there's a good manager in there somewhere. But I actually don't see what he's bringing to United. And we'll get onto the Sancho thing, because they said that at the beginning they were like, he's going to be a no-nonsense manager. He's going to get every player to work for him. Every signing is going to be his signing. Everybody's going to, sort of push in the same direction. And now he's not even bringing that as a bare minimum, let alone like not having a clear style of play. If he wants to play counter-attacking football, that's calm, but we know that that gets you 10th in the Premier League, unless you're Antonio Conte. Like I wonder or want to see what he genuinely has cooking for United, because I'm not seeing it.
I think one of the big issues that Ten Hag is going to face is going to be on his recruitment. And I think he's going to now be like joined at the hip, so to speak, with Anthony, Mount, those kind of signings. Amrabat, if he comes in, we don't know how good he'll be. He's going to be linked to those guys now. And if they don't perform, Anthony's £100 million asset. Like,
he sticks with him though.
That is Ten Hag's guy.
I've been listening to some stuff and like, I understand why he sticks with Anthony, because as you said, £100 million signing, not just £100 million signing, like he pushed all summer for him. They bid 90 and he was like, no, he's worth the 100. And now it's like, you can't really bench him. And I think that's why there's so much trouble with Sancho and everything else, because I'm sure Sancho's thinking, I'm training better than Anthony.
Yeah,
I'm sure Sancho's thinking, Garnacho's thinking.
Well, we'll get onto the Sancho thing.
But I agree with you that he's going to be, joined at the hip with his recruitment decisions, and I don't think he's been right in those decisions. I think he's honestly, we're going to get into the Sancho thing. Obviously, he's looking at Sancho saying like, you've not done enough on the pitch to deserve starts and game time and X, Y, and Z. And I don't think Ten Hag has done enough talent ID wise to be like, yeah, we should give you 300, 400, 500 mil.
Yeah.
Turn Anthony into something. Like what role does Anthony have in the team?
Yeah.
Who
I actually think wasn't that bad yesterday.
Exactly. And I think there's actually a player in Anthony, and I think the same thing about Andre Onana. I just think that Andre Onana is dope as a keeper. He's great on the ball. As a shot stopper, I've got my question marks, but I think he'll be all right. It's better than average. But I just think that despite having him, you don't have the pieces around him to get the best out of him.
Yeah.
What good is Andre Onana having the ball if Maguire and Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka are going to be the centre backs in front of him? And Rashford or whoever, like Højlund will see, and Rashford is going to be the outlet up top. Like, it's not always going to work, that ball in behind to Rashford from Onana. And there's going to be a lot of Premier League teams and defenders and stuff that are going to cut it out. So it's like, Onana is a good keeper. He's good on the ball. He's a semi-decent shot stopper. But, it's kind of like, that Lamborghini engine in a Ford Focus. What is going to happen?
I think you're spot on there, and this was evident yesterday. Most of Man United's possession, like we said earlier, came Onana, Lisandro, Lindelof, Casemiro. Those were their best passages of play. The ones involving Onana, because after that, it was either a long ball, a misplaced pass, like a bad pass into a forward man that can't really do anything with it. So yeah, you're right there in that, like, a Lamborghini engine in a Ford kind of thing, because Onana's, I think I saw a stat that he was their most progressive passer yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, which isn't right. But
and also, if Onana's going to have the most touches of like any outfield player, whatever it is, calm.
Yeah.
Calm.
Yeah, bro. And teams like,
at the back,
obviously for Arsenal, we wanted to press you guys, so it becomes a bit of an issue, right? I think even Pep said it before they played Inter in the Champions League final. You can't just go and press Onana.
Yeah. But I think that's why we deliberately were passive.
Let them have it. But if Man United play like a West Ham, a Nottingham Forest, even a Crystal Palace, Wolves, like they played early, they'll just sit off you, and then you can play those passes. But then you have to actually go and try and break them down. But I think obviously United lost 3-1, and a game of very, very fine margins. Garnacho goes through, ice cold. To be fair. For
Garnacho
18, 19-year-old.
Garnacho is
serious. I rate Garnacho.
Yeah, like I've seen enough from Garnacho to be like, there's
better than Anthony, better than Sancho. So I saw that last season.
Yeah,
because when he gets the ball, he can beat a man 1v1. He can go both ways,
and he can finish.
And he's been put through away from home at the Emirates in front of 60,000.
I didn't have a doubt that he was going to put it on,
and he buried it.
I didn't have a doubt that he was going to put it on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only doubt I had was like, obviously, I know he's a good player. I rated him even last year, but I just didn't think at that age in that stadium,
I just didn't have a doubt
for him to go through and do that. Ice cold, clever from Gabriel. We didn't even speak about him doing that on the offside.
Super, super, super clever.
Yeah, very smart. But then obviously that gets disallowed. I think there were positives for Man United. Dalot, I know obviously we ripped Dalot for the goal, but I think other than that,
he had a good game. I think Wan-Bissaka had a good game.
Saka was poor, and I think a lot of that was because Dalot kind of kept him quiet.
I thought Wan-Bissaka had a good game.
Because that was a great battle.
Because I was going to say there was a few times where it was like, man, he's gone past him here.
Yeah.
And then,
the leg comes round,
Wan-Bissaka just claws it back.
I think what Martinelli did well yesterday was he went on the outside
a lot
and put crosses in. I was getting them in. But yeah, Dalot did well. I think Martial, my thoughts on Martial, I like Martial in the sense of, because he's not my player, right? He doesn't play for my club. But when he's through one-on-one, I'll back him to score 99% of the time. Like, he's ice cold, genuinely, when he goes through, But other than that, the guy is pathetic, man. He is so useless.
I could not believe... Actually, I could believe, but like the performance that Martial put in, he wasn't even like shocking. It was just that he wasn't
lazy.
He just wasn't anything.
He's just lazy.
He just was not. It was a big game. There's a lot on the line here. You've been given a start. You know Rasmus is going to come in and get a lot more starts than you.
He doesn't care. He just looks like he does not care.
You should at least show your manager you're gonna have something to contest.
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Like I know
Hoyland's got to fight for his
exactly.
place.
I know you've brought in your guy, but I'm gonna make it tough for him. Nah, bro.
He's picking up his paycheck and he's enjoying it. And but on the Martial thing, I remember last year when we played them in the Emirates, Ten Hag started Weghorst, and I said to my brother that I'd rather Martial start because, again, even though Martial's more likely to take a chance, he's not going to work anywhere near as hard. He's not going to press our players. He's like, we're going to have a free reign to play out.
Yeah,
and that was evident.
And that was so clear.
Yeah, like the difference, and also this brings me on to Hoyland, who again I thought was probably another positive for Man United fans. He at least looked like he was going to pose a problem.
But so on this, one final thing I say about Martial is Ten Hag after the game came out and said that he enjoyed his performance.
Yeah, he played well.
How could...
Honestly, I don't know. Like Ten Hag must have been intoxicated when he gave that interview yesterday because I don't know what he came out and said that it wasn't offside.
Yeah,
and Mike Dean just stood there and was like, "The technology can't be wrong." like
he said it's the wrong angle.
Yeah, you're just acting like a moron.
He said, "Come on." And then on Rasmus, I think Rasmus had a great cameo, great 20 minutes. Looks exciting, looks promising. And then I also think, and I don't know if this is my hater cap on, but I was like, I mean, Premier League debut versus Arsenal, can you do any less? Like, how could you not look excited? How could you not look like you want to battle? How could you not look like, you're willing to put a fight for this team? You also have no competition. Like anything you do is going to be praised, gassed, and loved.
Yeah.
My thing about Rasmus is, before I make any judgment, I'll say that he looks good. He looks like a prospect. He looks like he can be something. But I also need to see what he looked like when he's through on goal.
Yeah. Like obviously, we've only seen Rasmus for like these 20 minutes. We're not saying that he's going to be something or he's not going to be something, but just for Man United fans,
he looked good. Yeah, it's something to be happy
crying
about
right now because
they
just got slapped at the Emirates. Rasmus looks all right.
He looks all right. Rasmus looks all right. To go machine for machine, PMP for PMP with Gabriel.
Yeah.
Applause. Yeah, because Gabriel chews up 9 out of 10 guys.
Yeah. And we will talk on the Sancho thing quickly before that. Honestly, how come big Man United have Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire?
How is Lissandro coming off
as their centre back partnership?
Yeah, at this age, at this time of the season.
I saw a tweet that they were Leicester's 18-19 centre back partnership.
I mean,
at big Man United,
Johnny Evans should be in the back room. He should be in the back room stuff. And Johnny Evans is probably
that was how a lot of Man United fans found out he'd been given a contract.
Yeah,
was him coming on yesterday.
No,
even for me, obviously I'm not a Man United fan. I was sat there and I was like, "Oh shit, they signed Johnny Evans."
No, I just think that like Johnny Evans is not even he's not even a terrible defender career-wise. Like he's had a decent career.
He's a Premier League winner.
Yeah, it's just that it's not his time
but
anymore.
But right now, how can he be at Man
He's
United?
not even a top 6. Maguire is the same. Like I come back to the Onana point. What style of football does Erik ten Hag want to play with Maguire, Evans, Onana?
I think to cut him a bit of slack there, that's obviously that's 5th and 6th choice. I think. Yeah.
Like, are they though? Like, as much as Varane and Martinez are the starting two,
Lindelof.
Like, that's the problem. From what we've seen from Varane and Martinez, we know Varane is going to get injured.
Yeah.
It seems like Martinez now.
Yeah.
He's going to be. He's going to pick up knocks.
On speaking of like Ten Hag's plan and everything, we will touch on this briefly. Obviously, Ten Hag's come out after the game yesterday and said that Jadon Sancho is not in the squad. Didn't even make the bench yesterday because of his performances in training last week.
It's crazy.
And then maybe an hour or 2 hours after that, Sancho's come out with a statement on social media saying,
"Don't believe everything you read."
Yeah, don't believe everything you read. He's being made a scapegoat. He's been made a scapegoat for a while.
Did you see that tweet about the gaffer said it? It wasn't reported on the
site. Yeah. Don't believe everything you read. I mean, your manager said this in a press conference. The one that got me was those guys at Apple. And it's like Rashford coaching Sancho on his statement. But obviously we'll speak on that a bit. I think my only... Okay, look, Sancho has failed under 3 different managers, right? So he failed under Oli, failed under Ragnick, and he's failing under Ten Hag. So I have no issue with Ten Hag wanting to call him out or whatever. We've seen Arteta do it with players. My only issue is that if Ten Hag hasn't told Sancho that he's not in the squad because of his performances in training, and Sancho's had to find out from another source or from his press conference or wherever, I think that's a problem, and that's on Ten Hag's head, because he should
just look him in the face and
tell Sancho. But and from Sancho's statement, it looks like he kind of wasn't informed about it or whatever.
I think Ronaldo said a similar thing. I'm not really getting that clear communication from Ten Hag about what he wanted or expected or whatever. To that, just
Sancho said, "I've been training well this week."
Just to play devil's advocate, I think Ten Hag will probably look and say, like, if you legitimately think that you've been putting in the training sessions to warrant a start,
that's even worse.
Yeah. Like if you think that I can die on this hill, I can go public with this because I've been like, Ten Hag might just release the training videos. You just find Sancho laughing around with,
I think it's ill advised from Sancho's agent, whoever he spoke to. I think just go stupid. Like Sancho. This is the other thing. Sancho's not going on international break. So you got all of this week to get your performances up in training. Like, you're going to go into Carrington tomorrow, go and speak to Ten Hag and be like, why did you do this? Like, I don't think this is right. Coming out of a statement like that, you make it public. You give everyone a chance to kind of like jump on it and whatever. Piers Morgan came out and said, I'll give you an interview.
We've been here. We've been here before where it's like
banter era.
The fans are choosing between the manager and a player, and like, and you know what's so funny is Sancho is the wrong hill to die on if you're a Man United fan. I've just criticized Ten Hag for however many minutes, but you've got to back Ten Hag in the situation, because if Sancho was on the pitch scoring you 15, 20 goals a season, creating chances, assists, all the above, it's like, you know what, I might back the player on this. But Sancho's not done anything to merit.
No,
I'm gonna die on this hill. Ten Hag is at fault, X, Y, and Z. And the reason I just think it's such a bad thing to do is because it's actually match week 4, and you're already going into the
transfer window's closed.
Transfer window's closed.
The only place you can go is Saudi.
You're going into the season now with the distaste in everybody's mouth.
How does this end?
Can Rashford even make jokes with Sancho anymore? Like, how is it working in the changing room?
Yeah, Maguire and Sancho are now against Eric Ten Hag.
Come on, that. So what?
Like, it's building, isn't it?
Exactly. What actually is building? What is developing? I think for Rashford to even put that statement out, he's probably already had a couple of conversations with people in the changing room, but like, this guy's not.
For Sancho. Yeah.
He's like, this guy's not as good as we thought, or the hype. It's all just hype. I just think that if it was such a selfish decision for Sancho to put out that statement, but I hear it because, look, you're being publicly criticized by your manager and you want to defend yourself and this and that, but now you're just telling everybody to pick a side, draw a sword and fight to the death.
And I get it from Sancho's point of view as well, because like you say, managers come out and criticize you publicly, and to say that a player doesn't train well is going to influence probably a lot of like clubs that might come in for him post his Man United career. If they know that he doesn't train well, whatever, like, it's quite a damning thing to put out there.
It's your professionalism.
Exactly. So I can see why Sancho has an issue with it and has felt the need to come out and speak on it.
On Sancho's behalf, as I like alluded to earlier, Sancho probably or definitely feels like he's training better than Anthony, who's starting week in, week out. And obviously, Sancho was also bought for 80, 90 mil to be that right wing. United fans signed Sancho and it was like, right wing is solved
for 10 years.
Yeah.
Won't have to sign another right wing.
They were like, this is locked off. We're calm.
Yeah.
And I think Sancho's ego has taken a massive hit over the past couple of seasons. And seeing Anthony doing what he's doing to always get the nod ahead of him must be such a sucker blow. And
Sancho probably knows, like, this is Ten Hag's guy. Ten Hag probably has to die on this hill because of the price tag and everything around that. So where's Sancho? But again, my issue, like, we and a lot of Man United fans will know this. You saw Sancho play as a false 9 in
Sancho.
pre-season,
Yeah.
and he actually played all right. Probably the best. I know it was pre-season, but probably the best we've seen from him. And you think, okay, cool, he's kind of shown something now. Go into the start of the season and kind of give him a chance instead of playing Rashford through the middle. And Garnacho.
I think that's it. Like, I don't agree that Sancho as a false 9 will work in the Premier League.
But
I
don't think
it
would.
I do think that based off pre-season, he should probably have started Wolves at home in the false 9
and
position.
then you can have Rashford on the left and your guy.
You
Anthony.
always know Rashford was going to have to come back to the left. Like, he is not a striker. We've seen that. We know that. Whatever. And by that point, Wolves, we kind of knew that Rasmus was coming.
Yeah.
So it was like you could have done Sancho in the middle.
Yeah, it's like a stopgap.
But if the truth is that Sancho is not working hard enough in training, then Ten Hag shouldn't start him at all. Because
you look at the Man United bench yesterday, there were some players I've never heard of.
As I said, the overall direction of this, like what the game meant for the season, not much, but like the overall direction of the club, it's in such a weird place.
Yeah.
And that is why I was so shocked, and I'm so happy for this. And today's been an amazing day. For the 4 weeks ago, everybody's like, "Yeah, United are going to finish second.
Yeah.
United are going to,
they're challenging for the title.
United are going to push on, and United are just going to do this, and we're just going to, we're United." And then it's like, oh,
that's the thing. Yeah, when United fans say we're Man United, you guys need to understand what that means now. Like when you say we are Man United, to everyone else, that means Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire as centre back. They're it's not the same thing. It hasn't got the same effect. You're not the same team, and who knows, man? Their season could go quite badly.
I think they will get top 5. I think they'll get top 5 because they have Amrabat, they have Mount, they have Rasmus to all come in, play considerable games. Varane has to come back. Martinez has to come back.
True.
That's a different team.
They've got a lot of injuries.
Shaw has to come back.
Yeah.
They have a lot of injuries. But also, I do think that playing catch up in a Premier League season with Man City,
4 games, 6 points,
11th.
And you look at the other teams and how much better they are.
Yeah, we're gonna come on to everybody else, but you're just above of Chelsea, who haven't had a good start to the season.
Yeah,
so. Just to finish on United, I just feel like they're in such a precarious position. And it's like, if you come, I sent you the screenshot of the next 3 games. If you come back after the international break and draw to Brighton even, the
pressure builds again.
Exactly. The anxiety just grows. How long has it been since we've won a game? Yeah. You got Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Kane scores. That's the striker we should have got. Yeah. But great game. Great game. I think my final thoughts on the game was that is why you watch football.
Yeah.
The random
only football can take you from feeling so low when the Garnacho goes in to 10 minutes later feeling so high.
I was having this conversation
football can do well, obviously depending on how passionate you are about football, but only football can do that.
In the manner in which it does it to you as well. Like that when the lines came out,
I didn't know what was going on.
When the
lines, I was just praying.
Also, Gary Neville and PUG was so he's on side. This is nailed on. He's on side. When the lines
it looked
came
onside. When I saw it back,
it was so tight.
It looked onside before the lines come on.
But I was speaking to a season ticket holder at work, and I was just saying it's a Monday. Yeah, we hate this. We wish this week was over already.
Yeah.
But when you have 3 points on the weekend, especially 3 points versus United,
before an international break,
nothing was gonna get me down. I was just gonna float through today. Nothing was gonna get me down, and it was so close to being the exact opposite of every small thing pissing me the fuck off.
I was talking to a Man United fan. Obviously, I said a similar sort of thing, and he was like, "Yeah, for him, it was the opposite, right? He goes from feeling so high to so low in the space of 10 minutes. So he's gone the other way.
It's almost tough to recover, man.
Yeah, but good to get a win just before the international break. 3-1 over United. Hopefully Dallow's slid him back to Manchester by now.
10 from 12.
Yeah, decent. But we'll move on.
We'll move on.
First game of the weekend was Luton West Ham. I think that's probably the best performance I've seen from Luton. As expected, they were at home.
Yeah. Paqueta.
Yeah, I think
Serious.
the main thing I took from that game was that Paqueta, Emerson, Ben Rama triangle on the left seemed to be a lot of where West Ham's attacks were coming from.
Paqueta just looks like a guy that
there's a great delivery for Bowen's goal.
I don't know how to say this without being rude. It's like he's kind of above West Ham. Like, he's not playing like levels above West Ham. He definitely deserves to be at the club and all this kind of stuff. But like, I don't know. He gets the ball and he does something. He does like a shimmy, a jink. He puts a ball into the box and you're just like, yeah, that's crisp.
It's quality.
Yeah, like that's like he'll pluck the ball from the sky. He'll take somebody on wherever it is, and I'm just like, yeah, that's top 6 level.
Yeah,
like there's there's guys in United that can't do that.
Definitely.
Even I'm not here to move Havertz out or anything like that, but can you imagine Paqueta in that 8 role? He's a serious footballer.
Yeah,
and for him, I think it shines out to me even more because he's doing it in a Moyes system, and I don't think Moyes is the encouraging of flair and all of the extra stuff. I think Moyes just wants clean cut football.
But Paqueta's got the other side to his game. He's got the tackling, the tracking back. Like
he was playing 8 for Brazil, innit? So
and also Edson Alvarez.
Yeah,
I thought bossed it.
Bowen as well. I like
another goal.
You think I was of mind that Bowen is like, he's had a good season, but surely this will kind of tail off. Bowen is just going to be the guy that scores every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, and JWP. Again.
That midfield, we spoke about it last week. Alvarez, JWP, Paqueta, doing what they do again.
And that means you have Souček on the bench to come on.
Yeah.
Which adds a little bit of depth.
West Ham play Man City after the international
and
break.
Liverpool.
So yeah,
and Liverpool.
Be interesting. We'll move on to lunchtime kickoff. The lunchtime kickoff is always good, even when it's Shef U Everton.
Yeah, something happens.
2-2. Cameron Archer with a goal, probably almost 2 goals, hits the post, comes off Pickford and goes in.
Yeah,
but he looked good. The first goal in particular was a great finish. And then Pickford scores the own goal. He then has the double save at the end.
The double save at the end is kind of ridiculous. Because I watched the second half of that game.
But Burnley comes towering in.
Yeah.
Last kick of the game.
When you see the defender win the header, you think, has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Pickford flying across. And, Pickford always gets stick for trying to make the acrobatic camera save. And he does in that moment, but it works for him in that moment.
Yeah.
And then the second one just kind of like comes off his face.
Yeah.
But with both of those teams, my takeaways was that Sheffield left back is he's got to.
You're going to be on this guy every week.
No, he's like you've got to start an academy kid or something. You've got to give somebody else a chance to prove themselves because he is so just not Premier League level, and like his game is all right, but he has moments when it's like I need my left back to be switched on here, and he's never switched on, and he's never switched on, or it's like. Even in an attacking sense, the ball will fall to him at the edge of the box in a decent, promising area. And it's like, get a shot on target, cut it back to somebody at the top of the D. One of the 2 options.
Yeah.
He does neither.
He's slicing it out.
The ball goes over the bar. He takes too many touches. He passes it back to the centre back. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think for both teams though, it was important not to lose that game.
It would have been too damning if Everton lost. It would also been very damning if Shef U lost.
Neither of them had picked up a point yet. And they're probably 2 teams that are going to be down there.
I don't know, man. Everton selling Iwobi to Palace, to Fulham. It just lets me know your intentions.
Yeah,
like
their striker Beto looked all right.
He did.
He looked like he might cause some problems.
He did. They have the Damari Gray issue as well.
Yeah.
Like, ostracized by Daesh, but then not sold by the club.
Yeah.
I think Damari Gray was even begging to go Saudi at the end of the window. He's only like 26.
Yeah.
He's English as well. It's crazy.
But yeah, we've got them next at Goodison.
Match.
And typically we don't do well there.
Yeah. We haven't scored there in a while. We haven't scored there in a couple of years.
We'll move on to Brentford Bournemouth. last week we were saying Brentford hopefully have a more exciting game, and they did. They did this week. Sharda looked good. Have you seen the goals from that game?
Yeah.
So you seen Rico Henry?
Yeah.
He does so well.
I know.
To just get there first, put the burners on, absolutely rinse that guy, and then the back pass is just horrific.
And he's in my team as well. I'm kind of like disappointed with Brentford because I think they're good enough to see Bournemouth off at home. I also think that
credit to Bournemouth though.
Credit to Bournemouth. I also think that they're good enough to keep clean sheets in their last 2 games, like Crystal Palace and Bournemouth at home. I think you should keep a clean sheet in one of those 2 games.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not massive or major concerns because they didn't lose either of those games. But I just think that I'm keeping my eye on like are Brentford leaking more goals this year?
Yeah. Then don't look as solid. Yeah,
than they were last year. And from a Bournemouth perspective, I think they're going to be they're not going to be in desperate trouble because they have a knack now of at least not losing games that they would have lost last year.
Solanke scored again.
Yeah, Solanke's gonna get them these sort of 10 to 12, 15 goals, whatever it will be. And I just feel like there's a lot of games that they would have lost last year, especially at this time last year, pre Gary O'Neill, that they're getting draws out of now, which you will probably take if your one ambition is to stay in the league.
Yeah. And I think Mbuemo's goal as well. We'll talk about that. That was a great. It reminded me of Salah's goal last season. When he turns Cancelo. It's a great turn, goes through, buries it.
What's that, 3 and 4 for Mbuemo? I think he might be 4. 4 and 4.
It might be, yeah.
He's picked up the slack that sort of Tony's left behind, and it's it's still obviously it was an unreleased episode, but still so much praise to Thomas Frank for, as much as I've said, you should have kept clean sheets X, Y, and Z, but like they didn't go hard in the summer, they didn't go ham in the summer.
Yeah.
He's kept it more or less the same thing, and it seems like Brentford are not going to be in any trouble at all.
Yeah, they seem all right. We'll move on from that game. I think the next game might have been, was it Chelsea? Oh no, we'll talk about Burnley.
Tottenham.
Burnley looked very poor.
Yeah.
We spoke about Vincent Kompany last week and kind of
if he's going to change,
sacrificing his morals and whatever. But the high line that Burnley are playing is just, honestly, when you look at some of the goals that Tottenham score, they're left 3-on-2.
Schoolboy.
Yeah, it's so poor that they're like one man off when they go to press. But from Tottenham, I mean, you still have to go there. You still have to win the game. They scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
Richarlison got dropped and Son played as a number 9, which I think could be
moving forward.
The transition for him.
100%.
Because we know how ruthless Son is in front of goal.
His finishing, he made it look like training ground.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even like certain finishes, it's like, they put the power behind it. They really make sure it's in the corner. It just looks like Son is just like, I know how much to put on it just to get it around the keeper.
Like his, I think it's his second goal was very similar to Saka's chance yesterday. But Son buries it. He chips the keeper on the first one. I think because he's not like the same kind of ISO guy, take someone on 1v1. I think that striker role.
I was literally just about to say, you have a guy who's both footed, doesn't have a weak foot. He has one of those traits in football that for me is intangible, but I rate so much. The 1-0 Son, 1-0 Mane, type of thing.
Important goals
early on, and I feel like why would you have him tracking back a Saka or a Martinelli to make sure he's covered and done his job when you can leave him up top and let him do what he now does do best, which is just putting the ball in the back of the net.
And he doesn't have to do the hold up play because he's got one of the best number 10s in Maddison, who had another good game, scored another good goal.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Maddison. He's cooking his ball in 40 mil, prem proven. Yeah. He's doing what
signing.
Yeah, what we thought he would do. I think their left back is serious, man.
Udogie,
he's well, not serious, but he's looking good.
Yeah,
he's looking good.
Pedro Porro played a great. Hey, did you see the pass? That's a great pass he's played there. I think both of them are defensively suspect. Idoji and
Yeah. I was also going to say that I think Brennan Johnson is a good signing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
50 mil for him or 47 mil for him is a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Fixed fee as well, crazy. But I just think that the pace in behind, he's just going to replace Son. What Son was given
exactly.
Left
He'll
wing.
play from the left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you still have to go there. You still have to win.
And
10 points from 4
last
for
thing on
Tottenham.
Vincent, we spoke about this last week about like how long will you give it before you start playing like football that can actually keep you up in the Premier League. If you start shipping 5 goals at home consistently, like if somebody else comes up next week and puts 4 past you, puts 3 past you, whatever deadline you have, you move it a week earlier. You move it a week earlier. Tottenham are a good team. They're in form right now, but you
realize quickly, like Maddison's goal, he's finished it well, obviously from fairly, but the way they turn over possession is so bad. Like if you can't do that in the Premier League because there's enough quality on the pitch for you to get punished.
100%.
Then we'll move on to I actually watched this game, Chelsea Nottingham Forest. Now I'll make a quick couple points. Cole Palmer makes his debut. Sterling plays well. But obviously they've lost 1-0 at home at Stamford Bridge. It's not looking good, is it?
You know what's funny about Chelsea? I think they're actually putting in decent performances. Like I don't.
They didn't have a shot on target in that game.
I know,
at home to Nottingham Forest.
But did you see the chance that Nicholas Jackson missed?
Yeah, he has to score that. Yeah, I mean it's a sitter.
It's just a nail done. They weren't good versus Nottingham Forest, especially for a home fixture. But
I don't think they played well. I wouldn't say they played well.
I thought they were better than Nottingham Forest. Like Nottingham Forest were deserved the 3 points in some way, shape, or form. But I just think that I'm speaking less about this game specifically and more about Chelsea's overall. Like Chelsea have 2 losses, a draw and a win in their first 4 matches. But I don't know if they've played like they've had 2 losses, a draw and a win in their first 4 matches. I don't think they're a top 5 team, but I also don't think they're 12th. You know, on their performances, I think Sterling was all right. He played well. To be fair, he was like the biggest threat or outlet for them. If something was going to happen, it was going to be through him. Obviously, Caicedo and Enzo have a lot to do. Caicedo gave the ball away for the goal.
Yeah, not great from him again.
Colwill.
Colwill's looking a bit shaky, man. He's looking a bit shaky.
He's good on the ball. He has the defensive fundamentals, but I think, and who knows what was going on.
He doesn't look like he has the pace.
Yeah, who knows what was going on in that possession, but he doesn't look like he has the pace.
Doesn't look like he's got the pace.
Which could explain a lot about the 3 centre backs formation thing.
But I think Poch is done with this Chilwell left wing thing. I like.
He came off for 60 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way he can carry on with this. But Chelsea fans were booing at full time.
I mean, the money you've spent, the hype, they were another United. Guys were like, yeah, Chelsea's going to finish top 4. Chelsea's going to finish. And I remember having this conversation with you in the shed, and I was just like, and this was before they'd even signed Caicedo and Lavia and whoever else they've signed since then. I was just like, I just don't see where it comes from. Like the goal. Like I was speaking to a Chelsea fan who was at the game on Saturday, season ticket holder, and he was just like, he was venting to me about everything going on with Chelsea. I was loving it. I was a kind ear for all Chelsea concerns. But I was just telling him, I was like, man, you spent all this money. I like Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, he should have buried it, but I think he's going to get injured.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? Are you doing the Raheem false 9 thing?
It's Brozier, isn't it?
Are you doing the Cole Palmer false 9 thing? Even the Brozier.
Yeah, it's untested. It's unproven.
Brozier is not a bad player.
He's just come back from an ACL.
Exactly. We've seen what he can do at Southampton. He's a decent player in there. But I just think that like for the money that you spent, you're just an injury away from.
Yeah, just the squad doesn't look great, and I think Chelsea fans are used to winning.
Yeah,
right. Obviously, since Abramovich came in, before that they didn't really win anything. But those fans of that generation are used to winning, used to competing for trophies used to challenging for the title every 2-3 years.
Yeah, I spoke to a Chelsea manager. I spoke to a Chelsea fan, and they were just like, every manager apart from Andre Villas-Boas won a trophy.
Yeah.
And in that Andre Villas-Boas season, they won the Champions League.
Yeah.
You know?
So my only thought on it is, how long are those? If they're booing now, game 4, right, at home to Forest or whatever, how long are those Chelsea fans going to give it before the tide really starts to turn on Poch?
I think the most damning thing about Chelsea as well is the losses have been to teams that they 100% thought they were going to win. You know, Forest at home, West Ham away.
Yeah.
You know, they thought they were better than those teams. They thought they were going to win and beat those teams. So what happens when the Brightons and the Liverpools and
the only team they beat is Luton at home?
Yeah. But what happens when when we come to town? What happens when Man City and all these other guys turn up? If you're playing well and still losing to Nottingham Forest, or not playing well, sorry, but putting in performances or teams and lineups that you think should be winning games, and they end up losing. Yeah. Versus when you come to teams where it's like, we don't expect to win, we just want you to compete. You might just get dashed out the park.
But we said on the podcast last week, we were like, for any Chelsea fans thinking this is going to be an easy game, it's not.
Yeah, Taiwo,
because we know
Elanga.
Yeah, Elanga and Awani, he links up for the goal.
Yeah.
Awani puts it through. It's a cold finish from Elanga.
It's cold.
Very cold finish.
I think as well that Nottingham are going to be sleepers this year, in the sense that I don't think they'll be near the relegation.
No.
I also think that it's Nottingham's midfield is going to be Danilo, Sangare, and Gibbs White.
Yeah.
For a team that finished 17th last year in the Premier League to obtain that midfield in the summer,
it's decent.
I think it just shows where the money is at, where the pull is at, where everything is at in the Premier League. They've got Nuno in. Nuno played his game.
Nuno came on.
Danilo, Sangare, Gibbs White is a midfielder I would expect to see in Europa League or Champions League for a Sevilla or some shit like that.
And after they obviously lost at Arsenal narrowly, lost at Man United narrowly, it must have been nice for the Forest fans to see them pick up 3 points.
Yeah, that's a tough start to the season.
Yeah, right. And they beat Burn. No, who was it? Burn? No, they beat Shef U at home. Yeah, and now they've beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They've got 6 points.
6 points.
Man City, Fulham,
Haaland.
It's just Man City again doing what Man City do, dispatching teams. Haaland hat-trick, Alvarez, I think, goal and 2 assists. This new team that Pep is building is just... Apparently, Kyle Walker said to them, we're always playing catch-up. Why don't we try and run away with it like we did in 17-18? And someone quoted it and was like, these guys are actually just choosing how they want to win the league.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah. I think, Pep, once again, or this new guy who's in charge whilst Pep is away, it's 3D chess. It's almost as if they know every other team's transfer moves like 3 years before the team knows they're even going to make those transfers. It's like Pep is like,
they're just so like well organized.
Pep is like, in 2 years' time, I'm gonna need 4 central defenders across this back four, and the Premier League football is gonna be sort of,
we're gonna change our game.
Yeah. His timing on the decisions he makes, even the Haaland and Alvarez up top thing. Yeah, I don't like how well it's working.
Yeah,
Foden's
like coming into the team more.
Yeah,
the game.
Up until this season, you would have thought, even put Pep aside, any other manager would have just played either Haaland or Alvarez, and you have 2 great attacking options. Yeah. But to put them in together
and see them linking up,
it's a long day.
It is. And Jeremy Doku, their new signing, came in and started. Looks like he's going to be a one-on-one demon.
Oh man, I'm not looking forward to the switches.
And then him gathering speed and running. But Fulham had no Palhinha after his
whatever, man. That is crazy.
Whatever
fell through. That's crazy. I feel bad for Palhinha because I think that would have been a great move for him.
Yeah. I'm glad all the other Premier League teams have to face Fulham with Palhinha.
Yeah. I also don't understand why a Liverpool didn't whack 90 mil, 60 mil, whatever mil.
Definitely
on Palhinha.
He is
He's there.
exactly
Yeah.
what they need.
Yeah, he's right there.
But then the Saturday night fixture, Brighton Newcastle.
It's a great game.
Newcastle looking well off the pace, almost looking like their fitness levels just aren't up to it. And an Evan Ferguson hat trick. How 18 years old?
He looks.
How big time is he going to be?
I think what I like about Evan Ferguson the most is he's like, and this, I don't know if this is going to like sound bad, but he's like Giroud. Like, he's a big man with great feet.
Yeah.
Like, great feet.
Yeah.
His technical ability is so high. His like he can actually play on the half turn.
Yeah.
Like
the third goal.
Yeah, his ceiling is so high. I think he should just stay at Brighton for a couple of years and go somewhere for 100 mil.
Yeah.
But just on overall thoughts on the game was that Newcastle have had a tough start to the season.
Yeah.
And I think that they have been unlucky in many aspects, but also, they've been off the pace in certain aspects. But, playing Aston Villa, Man City, Liverpool, Brighton as your first 4 games,
it's tough.
It's tough.
Obviously, the way they lost to Liverpool last week,
in the last minute
was. But I think that their run of fixtures gets a bit easier from here.
It can only.
But yeah, I mean, even so, they didn't play well at all.
But Brighton
bounced back from the loss to West Ham.
Yeah, I think that will be Brighton's season at home, or story of the season at home, is if they lose one game, whoever it is next game, watch out.
They'll come back. Yeah.
Brighton are just Brighton, man. They're proper serious. Their attacking football is legit. Estupinian is being Estupinian. Pascal Gross is in there.
João Pedro looks good.
João Pedro look?
Pascal Gross got his first ever call up to Germany.
Is it?
Yeah. So he's going away on this international break.
Funny.
Shout out Pascal Gross.
I just think they're a team to watch. They're a serious threat if either United or Chelsea have the stinkers that they could potentially have right now. Like, if Ten Hag goes, say whatever happens, and sometime in December Ten Hag goes, and Man United find themselves sort of 6, 7, 8 points off top 5. I don't know if they'll actually will like chase down a Brighton. Like, you would just expect Brighton to lose 2-3 games on a bounce.
Yeah.
And then Man United to come back into it. But Brighton are not playing with a lot of fear right now.
Yeah. And
it's kind of showing. And Ansu Fati to come in, and all of this kind of stuff. I think there's so much positivity in the club. Even that new guy,
Ansu Fati.
Yeah, it could be serious.
That's a big signing for Brighton. So that takes, I know it's on loan, but take someone from Barcelona.
To have Matoma and Ansu Fati on a wing each with Solly March, Solly March is like
balling.
They're gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
they're gonna be a big problem.
And they come back after the international break. Yeah, Ten Hag versus De Zerbi. Could be an interesting one.
They're gonna cook. I just think my last thing on Newcastle is I'm actually not too worried about Newcastle because I don't know where they will finish, but I think they will have another good season in terms of they will compete. They will continually push for the top 6, top 4 places, and I just think that they will compete and they'll be up there.
Yeah,
and I think that there was like the game hinged on some small moments that just went Brighton's way.
Yeah. I think it's obviously, like you said, it's been a tough start to the season for Newcastle in terms of their fixtures and stuff. But
I like Tonali. I think Tonali is actually a good player. He's fitted in better than I thought he would fit in.
Because you would have watched him quite a bit in Serie A as well.
Yeah, sometimes you really never know how a player is going to translate to the Premier League and if they have the legs and the PMP and the desire to want it. But from the games I've seen so far, especially the tough games that he's had, he looks like he's up for the battle. Exactly.
He's been especially playing centre midfield in the Prem.
Yeah, because as I said, it will get easier once he gets the Bournemouths and the Lutons and the Evertons.
And then he can showcase his
what he can do.
Yeah,
because Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Tonali will fix up a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It just wasn't to be their day.
Yeah,
I think the most embarrassing thing would just be the Liverpool thing, because if you beat Liverpool, if you beat Villa, and you lose to Man City and you lose to Brighton away, you can live with that. You can live with that. You can live with that. But to lose to Liverpool just makes it all look a little bit more in the way they lost. It makes it all look a little bit more shoddy.
Yeah, for sure. But move on to Sunday's games. Crystal Palace v Wolves.
Mateta.
Did you see the 2 assists?
Yeah.
Edward brace, but yeah, the one off the back, and then the one Eze scored a great goal as well.
I saw that he scored a hat trick in the Carabao Cup, and I was just watching highlights, and I saw he scored a hat trick, and there was a part of me that was like, Wolves on the weekend for Mateta, huh?
Yeah.
But you like, I didn't know if he was going to start all this kind of stuff. But yeah, to see especially he was like out the door in summer. They were like, yeah, Mateta's gonna go. He's not training with us. And I don't know. I'm just happy for him because we do, like, he does get a lot of stick for not being a goal threat, and he isn't really.
Yeah.
But today was his day.
Yeah,
so you have to praise him for that.
2 good assists for him.
Yeah.
Eze took his goal well, touched
Eze
to bring
took
it
his
in.
goal well.
Edward obviously scored a brace. I think there was like a late flurry from Wolves.
Yeah.
But I think the one positive takeaway for Wolves is Pedro Neto picked up 2 assists. Assisted both the goals. He looks like he's getting back to his best. And I remember when
Cunha scored as well.
Yeah.
Bury that hoodoo.
I remember when in lockdown, we were all raving about Pedro Neto.
Yeah, we wanted him bad.
He was. I would still have him because he looks like he's. But yeah, I think that's a positive sign for Wolves. And then Liverpool, Aston Villa. Liverpool won 3-0. A very, very good performance from Liverpool. I think we spoke a bit on the Trent inverted thing.
Yeah.
I think that game epitomized like what
he can do
when it can work, because he was literally just a quarterback in that game, giving him the ball, and he was just playing pass to Diaz, pass to Nunez, pass to Salah. He was just finding them every time. Right? Got an assist. The Szoboszlai goal,
ridiculous finish on his left foot, hits it into the ground, doesn't even take a deflection,
like drills into
just comes straight onto it. He looks like a serious player.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool played well. As I said, they'll score goals. They'll always be tough to beat at home. I think my concerns for Aston Villa was just like Pau Torres defensively.
Yeah, didn't play well. They went downhill after Diego Carlos got injured.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, losing 2 centre backs is tough though.
And they also didn't take their chances.
Yeah.
Which when you go to Anfield, like you have to. But we're not going to judge them off. Anyone can go to Anfield and lose.
And yeah, especially after, like, there seems to be like an underdog story a little bit with Liverpool, which is never good at Anfield.
Yeah.
What do you make of 2 things: the Gravenberch signing, as well as the potential late bids from Salah and his head being kind of turned?
I don't think Salah's going anywhere.
I don't think Salah's going anywhere, but do you think you would sell him if you were the club? Do you think
if the offer had come in
early in the season, in the window,
even like end of July,
you would have taken it?
I would have held out for 200.
I would have held out for 200, 100%.
But I would sell him then.
But I also think that at the end of this season, you will still get 150
you will
for Mo Salah.
That's why if you can then, if Salah gives you an inkling that he wants to go or whatever, you can plan for that.
I don't even think you need to ask Salah for an inkling. That move is so nailed on.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Salah strikes me as a guy who, as long as Liverpool show that they can compete at the top level,
he'll stay at Liverpool.
Like if Liverpool get Champions League, is he really, like, he's not going to want to try and win the Champions League again?
That's the thing. I don't think Salah is in it now just to be in it. Like, I think he's in it to win it. He's of the like, I want to be the one defining the big games and the big trophies. Yeah. And if Liverpool get top 4, calm, it is another reason to stay. But I think you'll only stay if he believes Liverpool have a team to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
Rather than like, we'll get round of 16, take the money, take the.
But I think that's where it's a bit different with Liverpool and the Anfield factor, in that we've seen horrendous Liverpool teams do so well in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Like that team that won it, I know it was a long time ago, but that team that won it in 2005 finished 6th in the league.
Yeah.
But there's just that Anfield thing. Even in 17-18, when Karius messed up in the final.
Yeah.
I know Van Dijk could come into that team in January, but like at that point they weren't a finished version. But they have those nights in it. They have that capacity, and I think when you have the forwards that they have,
you can win any game. 100%, you can win any game. But I just think for as much as Salah's as much as I agree, Salah has this competitive drive to win. I also think that once you've won it all and have nothing to prove, and somebody offers you 1.5 mil a week, tax free, in a part of the world where you would be the biggest deal. Like he would own the Saudi league. He would, what it would mean for Egyptians and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how much we can actually tangibly understand how much that means to him. You know, and I agree that I think, as I say, I think he has that dog in him to always want to win the Premier League or the Champions League. But I just think that if Liverpool have the season, I think they'll have the up and down season they had last year. I know last season killed Salah a little bit.
He doesn't, bro. When he comes out to the Europa League music, it's gonna kill him.
You start thinking I could actually have 1.5 mil a week in Saudi. So I Liverpool shouldn't have taken the money. I agree that they shouldn't have taken the money. 200 mil is a different story, because that is a summer rebuild. You know. But I just think that the transfer is so nailed on. And if I was Liverpool, I'm already planning now who I'm getting to replace Mo Salah. Because it's so nailed on. And they'll be back in January. And they'll be back at, and like the more they knock on the door, the more they're probably promising more money on the 2 mil a week. 2.5 mil a week.
They're going to do everything they can to try and get
everything they can to try and get him. So you're fighting a losing battle now. Then you might as well just accept the 200 mil or the 150 mil or whatever it is. And then on Gravenberch, I just think that there's a player in there somewhere. Obviously, he just rode bench for Bayern Munich. He didn't really have a good year. Went out on loan even in Jan, and but he's not the DM that I thought they needed. Unless
he's not a DM, is he?
No, he's not. He's not a DM.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He's
what
like another.
Plan
He's like another Slobber, like another McAllister.
Yeah.
He's like an 8-10 hybrid thing. Unless Klopp has a plan to turn one of those guys into a DM. I just question defensively still where
the only one you can turn into a DM is Gravenberch.
Yeah, but I've never seen him.
Because if you go away from home and McAllister's your DM, like the other teams are going to be eating off that. And Szoboszlai looks like he's too influential further forward for you to play him as a 6.
Yeah, I think Szoboszlai's place should be where it is now. I don't think you should now start tinkering and telling him to do this and that. But you've consciously signed somebody who's never really played DM, especially in this league, and the demands of a DM in this league to be DM. And it's just like
it's interesting. It's interesting because if it does work,
it's great.
It could be a masterclass,
and it's at a snip of the price of all the other DMs. 40 mil versus the 100 mil that guys have been spending. But if it doesn't work, you say what I said was like, where's the 70 mil for Paulinho? Where's the 80 mil for Paulinho? You made money this transfer window, so it's not like it's not like you're strapped for cash. FFP is fucking you around. You made money.
I think what and Klopp's kind of renowned for this in it is that like he has a target, and if he doesn't get that target, he'll wait till the next transfer window to get that target. Like he did that with Van Dijk, did that with Alisson.
Bellingham, he went for like 3 windows.
Just keep going. There was the whole tapping up thing with Van Dijk. Like I think Klopp has a target for who he wants as his DM. And I think for whatever reason they couldn't get him this summer, whether it's Tchouaméni or whoever. I think if they get back into the Champions League, I think next summer they'll then spend 100 million plus on their DM.
I think as well, Klopp has been humbled, or Liverpool have been humbled a bit about their pool. I really think that they
the
thought,
Caicedo and Lavia thing.
I just really think that they thought everybody's clamoring to play for Liverpool. We're a top club, which they are, but. Yeah, Caicedo, Lavia, there's a couple others. Like I'm sure they put out a lot of feelers for players and weren't quite getting the same love back that they expected to get back.
Yeah.
And I also really don't understand it because I would love, if I was a footballer, I'd love to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, same. I had this conversation with my mates. Like, if you couldn't play for your team or the team that you support, who would you play for in the Premier League? And for me, I think it would be Liverpool.
Yeah.
Newcastle or Liverpool, probably.
Yeah, 100. You'll be loved by the fans. You know you're playing for both a big historic club as well as like
actually experiencing those kind of Champions League nights at Anfield.
yeah. I just think
That's why I was surprised with the Caicedo and the Lavia, especially after Caicedo's gone there. I'm surprised Lavia's then gone as well.
yeah. But I think the security maybe of an 8-year deal,
Exactly,
you just
yeah,
can't
for
overlook
someone
it.
that young
Your
as
agent is
well.
telling you you'll never see this again.
Yeah.
You know, 200k for 8 years. No, like
Bro, Chelsea fans have had enough of Mudryk. He's got another 8 years left on the deal, man. But yeah, that was all of them. I think we will just quickly mention, obviously, in the last week, Bukayo Saka won PFA Young Player of the Year.
A lot of esteemed footballers in that list.
Yeah.
A lot of esteemed footballers in that list.
So big credit to him.
Huge.
Totally
deserves
deserves it. Yeah, totally deserves it. Had a great season last season. Put Arsenal on their back a lot. And also Eddie Nketiah getting his England call up.
Huge for us.
Really happy for him. I think even just from what, like, he came across well in the All or Nothing doc. Obviously everyone knows that clip with Sambi Lokonga.
Yeah. I just think with Eddie, and we've had this conversation maybe a fair few times of just like, I think the reason he stayed ahead of Balogun and all this other stuff, on top of footballing reasons, was he fundamentally has learned or knows his place in this team. He knows Jesus. Like, even when Jesus scored, he didn't have to see Jesus score that to know Jesus is going to start ahead of him.
And he was celebrating just as hard.
Most games.
Yeah.
Because he's getting what he wants out of it as well. He's getting minutes and acclaim and applause. And at the end of the season, there should be, if Eddie doesn't sort of stay on, there should be a 40 million.
Eddie will start a lot of games this year.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. There's a lot of games for him to start.
Yeah.
And I think he's shown as well that, you can trust me. So I just appreciate that about him more than anything, or more than a lot of other things. It's just like not being a number one guy and not always bitching and complaining and moaning about it, and just being like, I'm here to work, I'm just
going to fight for my place. Yeah.
And I'm here to see the rewards and the benefits come off the back of that. No statements, no nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like, and he was clearly unhappy. You can see that in the sound. He was clearly unhappy. He clearly wanted more minutes. He flirted with leaving and all this kind of stuff. So I think massive big up and massive sort of congratulations for getting the call up, just for the simple fact that you stayed down until you were up. Like, you're the definition of like, I'm just going to stay down. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do what is expected of me. And the gaffer says I'm going to get the rewards. And I finally did get the rewards.
Because Arteta's always come out and said, if anyone deserves it, it's him. For the effort he puts in, for how hard he works. Obviously, again, we don't know everything on the Sancho situation. But you compare the two, and you look at how Eddie's just kind of got his head down and just thought, I'm just going to fight as hard as I can for my place in this team, and the rewards that he's now getting being picked for England.
Yeah.
I think I saw something that was like, Sancho hasn't been picked in the England squad for like 2 years.
That's crazy. Generational talent, they were saying. Star boy, X, Y, and Z. But yes, look, Sancho's thing is the work ethic. He doesn't have the same work ethic as an Eddie or a Saka or whoever it is. But yeah, just specifically on Eddie, I just think, man, just massive congratulations, massive kudos. It's not been an easy ride. I'm, doubted at every corner, I'm definitely sure. And now you're in a position where it's like you've kind of won, because even if you don't play as many games as you want to this season, there is going to be a Crystal Palace. There's going to be whoever it is that is going to be like, I need an Eddie. Who can get me 10 to 14, 15 goals to keep me up.
He starts at most other Premier League teams.
Yeah, he does.
And most of them, genuinely.
Simply does. I even think he'll start Chelsea.
Yeah. He would.
And just on Saka, man, to be voted by your players and your peers as that guy, that young guy who's coming up, I don't think you can understate that or underlook it. And there's been a lot of just great players who've gone on to have great careers who've won this award. And it's hard to hate him. He's too wholesome. He's too humble. He's too kind. He just deserves his respect.
Yeah. And he even said, like, as great as it is to win that, he
wants more.
He wants the team trophies, right? So, which is always good to hear. But thank you guys for listening again. I know we changed up the order today, but so what happens when if Man United come to the Emirates and get bopped, then we're gonna talk about that first. So thank you guys for listening, and
we'll see you next week. Well,
we might. So we might try and put something out in the international break, like a top 10 or something similar to that. But other than that, we'll be back with like the Premier League roundup the week after. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And
one
peace.
love, man. One love, everyone.